Are you a veteran suffering in silence? Honestly, ask yourself that. If you've clicked this video, if you search for this video, you probably are. You might be going through something that no one else knows, but I understand how that is. So I want to show you in this video some of the core beliefs that you might be believing that is the reason why you're suffering in silence, and how we can reframe these beliefs so that you can actually seek the help that you need to be able to restore your mental health, be able to find healing throughout this process, because I don't want anyone else to go through what other people are going through. Like, mental health is uh no joke, right? And I think it's time to own up about that. So my name is Brandon Smith. I'm a former U.S. Marine with 6 years of honorable service and owner and founder of Mental Momentum, helping military veterans, first responders, and their families find purpose, rebuild identity, and win the war with their minds. And I'm going to talk about these three fundamental beliefs that you might be believing in yourself that is absolutely not true. And one of them is you were taught that you need to be tough at all times. So we needed to train for combat, and we needed to train for all these conditions. And that meant that we needed to put our feelings aside when we were faced with the enemy or danger or threats. So we learned to suppress our emotions, suppress our feelings, and put on this facade that we need to stay tough, mentally tough at all times. And when we're conditioned to do that, we don't seem to have this off switch to turn this off. We just keep that on, especially when you've been exposed to this line of work for a long time. And the problem with this suppression of emotions and the suppression of weakness is that it becomes conditioned in everyday life. So it absolutely made sense to put your feelings aside when it comes to facing the enemy and facing dangerous threats. Yeah, that, like, there's a reason why we're trained to do that in the first place. We can't afford to let our feelings dictate or control us in those environments, or else we'd be dead, or our battle buddies to our left and right would be dead, or our fire team would be dead. But when it comes to coming back home, being in garrison, coming back not in those environments anymore, we still think that we need to be tough so that we can survive, or that we don't pretend that we're weak. And if we try to suppress that, then that's going to affect the way we live and way we behave when it comes to trying to live a normal life. And I know a lot of people, millions of veterans out there, are just wanting to live a normal life, but they can't because their mind is pushing them away from being able to do that. This could cause you to push other people away. It could cause you to negatively impact the people that love you the most, your family members, your close friends, your spouse, your kids. It's unfortunate, but it's true. And if you're trying to keep this mental toughness, thinking that you can push further and go harder and all these things, you're going to burn out. You've probably burnt out multiple times at this point. And I know I have. I know I have, when I think I just need to put my feelings aside and just grind more and do more. And we can't do that. We can't. So that's one false belief that I believe a lot of people are struggling with. Second, you're taught not to tell the truth about your problems. See, in the military, there is a stigma that happens when, if you try to speak up about your problems, your issues, what your struggles, things that you're going through, it can often mean that you could be ostracized from your unit. It could be a threat to your career, or even worse. You You could end up not having an honorable discharge at the end of your service. You know, picking up something other than honorable conditions and or worse because of the pain and the problems that you're going through in your head. And when you try to suppress that, like we talked about with toughness and suppressing our emotions, we suppress our ability to speak the truth and just pretend that everything's okay, that everything's fine, that you're okay for the next deployment, that you're okay for the next mission or the next operation, next set of training. And I think there's a lot of people that have been negatively impacted by that, by not being able to speak up while they served. And when they come into the civilian world, when they were finally out, they carry that with them. It doesn't go away. It bleeds into other areas of their life, especially long term. In fact, it gets worse and worse over time if they don't address it from the root cause. And I think that a lot of people need to start owning up, because your mental health, if you're trying to, if you think that that speaking up is going to be a threat to your career, especially in the civilian side, if people are threatening you to just to not speak up because your job is on the line, and that's a dangerous position. That is a very dangerous position. And no one should have to go through that. And I think there's a lot of beliefs that you might think to yourself, if I do that, then my life is completely over. And it's not. Your life will be over if you decide to keep on going with this belief that you can never speak up, they can never use your voice to share with others what you're going through. And it might need to be the right set of people. Might not be everyone and anyone, but like might need to be that one or two people you might need to reach out to. And this third belief is you believe that it was your fault. That it was your fault that someone else in your fire team got shot in deployment. You believe that it was your fault that someone else got blown up by an IED. You believe that it was your fault for simply making a mistake that got someone mortally wounded, lost their leg, lost their arm, whatever the case. You feel condemned by your actions and bear that shame. It carries over for the rest of your life because you feel like you're no longer good. You're this evil, terrible person because you blame yourself for the actions that you've done, and you bear that shame. And you feel like there's no ability to be redeemed by your actions. You feel like you're unforgivable, irredeemable, that no one can trust you anymore. So you believe that in your mind to make it true for yourself. But I'm here to tell you that we can reframe a lot of these beliefs together. I'm gonna go through that with you. So reframe number one. It's okay to own up to your weakness. See, I'm going to go a little bit biblical here, because I think that we all need a little bit of Jesus in our lives and not relying on the world for these answers that we're looking for. So in 2 Corinthians 12 verses 9 and 10, it says, "But he said to me," and this is what Jesus is speaking, "My grace is sufficient for you. For my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly about my weaknesses, so that Christ's power may rest on me." Listen to what he's saying. His grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. He doesn't want you to try to strongman the world and white knuckle everything. He wants you to boast in your weakness because his strength is enough. Jesus' strength is enough for you, so that you no longer have to put on this toughness that you've been putting on for so long. You don't have to anymore. You really don't. It all comes down to surrendering yourself to him and allowing him to carry on a lot of the burdens and the pains and the problems that you're going through, and be willing to admit to him your weakness. Second reframe. You no longer need to feel ashamed. See, when we feel ashamed, we take on an identity, a false sense of identity that the enemy is trying to convince you that you are, but you are not. You are not your past. You are not defined by what you've done in the past. Even what you're doing now, you're not defined by that. It's the actions that you do. And yeah, we do dumb stuff. We do dumb knucklehead things all the time as military dudes, right? But we're not defined by that. We don't have to. Even if the world is telling you these things, you don't have to believe in the world what they're telling you. Even those close to you, if they don't know what you're going through, what you're struggling with, and if they tell you this and that and anything that's negative, you truly do not have to believe in this. And I'm going to tell you this. You can be secure knowing that there is a heavenly Father that loves you, that knows your deepest hurts, and can provide healing for you, and is willing to be there for you no matter what you've done. You are not too far gone in this world. You're not too far gone for healing, for forgiveness, for love. You're not. And I'm going to tell you in Matthew 11:28, we talk about burden, weariness, shame. And I want to tell you in Matthew 11:28, he says, Jesus says, "Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." It is like a spiritual rest that so many people need, billions of people need. Just about everyone in the world needs a spiritual rest, because there's so much shame and guilt being presented in the world, and we're going through it every day. We don't have to be burdened by this shame anymore. What you've done in the past, what you've done in combat, what you've done on deployments, what you've done in training, maybe even outside of that, whatever your line of work is in the military. If you have any sort of shame or guilt that you're going through that's been eating at you, just know you can run to the Father, your heavenly Father, and he will provide that rest for you. I promise you that. Just run to him. Third reframe is that you don't need to fight it alone. See, no man is an island. No man is an island, nor a woman. And we're social creatures, believe it or not. We need each other. We need community. We need people to get feedback from, to bounce back ideas, to share our struggles and pains and problems and work through it together. Because if you try to work through it yourself, you're only fighting your own thoughts. And if you're fighting your own thoughts, you will never win against that battle. You can't think your way out of freedom. You can't think your way out of depression, PTSD, trauma. You can't think your way out of it. So I think that the biggest first hurdle that a lot of people need is that they need to be willing to step up and find people and find a community, find that person, find whoever it is that can help you, that can help you throughout these struggles, that you don't need to fight alone. That is the first, because so many veterans are fighting in isolation. They're suffering in silence. They lock themselves up in their four walls, even in times where they're in public, they just keep themselves silent. They might say, "Hey man, how's it going? I'm doing good." When in reality, they're not doing good. They don't want to be honest about themselves. So you don't need to fight alone. Please don't fight this alone. True strength comes from being willing to ask for help. This is not weakness. That's not weakness. That is strength. Being vulnerable, being honest about what you're going through is real strength. If you're a man right now, pure masculinity, like true, real masculinity, isn't what the military has taught you. Okay? It isn't. It's being vulnerable, being honest, being real, authentic, and stepping up to say that, hey, I'm not okay. I need someone. I need help. I need help. So if that's you, if you want to take that first step, if you're ready, I do invite you to join my community, Mental Momentum. We have nearly 200 members in the community ready to support you on your journey to restore mental health, finding true purpose, and living in freedom. That's absolutely free to join. Click the link down below, and I'd love to be able to serve you, to help you however I can. And this community could be the very thing that you need to make that first step towards mental health freedom, because we all need it. We all need it. We all need it in this day and age, especially. So if that helps, if this video has helped you out in any way, feel free to share a comment. I'd love to be able to know your thoughts. If you're struggling, don't fight this alone. Feel free to subscribe, like this video if this helped you. Share with any friends, veterans, even first responders and families who are going through the same things. Maybe this will resonate with them. Maybe this will help them out in some capacity. This provided any good value to you. And hit the notification bell if you want to see more videos like this. And I want to be an encouragement to you. I want to let you know that you don't have to suffer in silence. You are valued in this world. You are valuable as a human being. You truly are. Don't let the world tell you what you're not, or tell you what you are, because what they're going to tell you is what you truly are not. You don't have to believe them. You want to understand who you are and whose you are. You are a child of God. You are His workmanship. You are His craft. He crafted you inside the mother's womb. He crafted you masterfully. You're made in His image. And no one else is going to tell you that. No one else in the world who doesn't have that grounded foundation of faith in place will never tell you how valuable you are. But I will. And I tell you that you are a child of God. No matter what you've done in this world, you are valued. So enough rambling. I'll see you guys in the next video, and I'll see you later. Lord bless you. Semper Fi.